So, Andrew, not the greatest watch party that you've ever been a part of, I guess. Both games kind of clear winners, not much drama.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts about the games? Let's start with the most recent one, Olympiacos beating Real Madrid convincingly. There was a bit of a run from Real in the third quarter. They tried to get back, but was very short-lived. Kind of Olympiacos put out the fire, and throughout the game, kind of dominant, really. What'd you think?
I mean, Olympiacos just showing the team that they've been throughout the years, you know what I'm saying? We always talk about Vezenkov. I mean, everybody's talking about him and his impact that he brings. He did it again tonight. I don't know, maybe took, 10 shots, 11 shots into, 23, 25, something like that. I think for Real Madrid, it's just tough for them to try and keep up with that. They got a good team, kind of a little bit of older guys, but Olympiacos just too good right now.
Too good, yeah. Vezenkov, 23 points, 7 rebounds as well. And like you say, you don't notice how this guy gets to these numbers. It just happens naturally. He doesn't need to touch the ball. Whenever he gets the ball, he shoots it right away. His probably release is one of the quickest in the EuroLeague. He just used his chances as he usually does, cutting, also scoring off the dribble, off the catch as well. Real Madrid, on the other hand, like you said, a bit too old. I feel like we were sort of talking about talent throughout our watch party the whole time. Do you think that Real Madrid, with what they have in their roster, has a chance to make this series actually interesting? Because before the series, all three of us here, we were predicting, I believe, 5-game series. After seeing this game tonight, do you see this series going back to Piraeus for Game 5?
I personally don't. I think Olympiacos, like I said, again, we were talking about talent. I think Olympiacos is the more talented team, and they're the better team as well. Like, they have more talent and they have a better team as far as their chemistry goes. Obviously, Real Madrid's chemistry is, you can say, undeniable because of how long that team has been together and just the history of Real Madrid. But I think right now, like, that landscape, especially in EuroLeague this year, changed a lot, especially with kind of the powerhouse team that you were used to seeing. And same thing tonight for Real Madrid. I just think they need to just keep fighting, but they're going up against a really tough team.
And one maybe thing that you can point out that was not great about Olympiacos tonight was that run in the third quarter by Real, which was really the fault of Olympiacos' defense. They have this tendency this season to just let the foot off the gas defensively in the second halves. Actually, they're, I think, third worst defensive rating they have in the second halves in the whole of EuroLeague. And we saw that tonight as well. And Sasha Vezenkov in his post-game interview also was like, if we play second halves like this, we're not going to win. And that's an issue. What do you think this is? Like, is this a mental thing that they go into the break with a huge lead, they come back and they're just not focused? Or what happens in the second half for Olympiacos and what they need to do to not have these problems when it comes to playoff games?
And honestly, it could be a majority of things. Like, sometimes it could be just mental lapses, but also, like, we also like to say, like, other teams practice too. You know what I'm saying? So like, Real Madrid is not a pushover. They're going to make some adjustments. Some guys are going to make shots, and they have the capability of going on a 10-0 run, a 12, whatever the case may be. So sometimes it's just about maybe Olympiacos losing a little bit of focus and trying to stay locked in, but also at the other end, like, Real Madrid has good players, and the EuroLeague is full of good players who can make plays.
Yeah, despite that third quarter where they conceded 22 points, then in the fourth they conceded 21. Defensively, they put Real Madrid at their second worst performance offensively. I mean, Real Madrid scored the second least points that they had in their season so far. Do you think this was Olympiacos' defense or more of a bad offense or not well executed offense from Madrid?
I think it's more Olympiacos defense, but that's the thing about the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? It's time to make adjustments. So it could just be an off night for Real Madrid if they didn't make the right adjustments during the course of the game. I didn't really see that too much. I saw more so of Olympiacos defense and how much physicality it was playing with. making shots hard for guys. So I don't anticipate that to change. I think that's, again, goes down to like the talent level of Olympiacos.
It's interesting also, we were talking about that guard lineup that Olympiacos has. You know, they just got Walker back from the injury. Williams Goss started the game. Larenzakis got a few minutes. Vildoza was on there on the court. Saban Lee as well. All these, let's say, ball handling guards combined for a total of 12 points in those minutes that they played. Not much from offensive standpoint, but do you see it as a problem that they don't have one established leader in that one position?
Not really, because you look at the leader to be Sasha, you know what I'm saying? Like, just even as we were watching the game, like the things Nigel does really well is going to go over your head while you're watching the game, but he's picking up 94 feet. He's getting in the lane. He's shooting that float. He might only take 2 or 3 shots, you know what I'm saying, but he controls the pace of the game. Then Saban adds that explosiveness. Vildoza adds the shooting, you know what I'm saying, because he can make shots at a high clip. But I think Olympiacos' system is more so designed for the team to work and not so much individual players, which is what makes Sasha so great, is because even like on a night like tonight, he doesn't do anything extraordinary, but you look up, he has 23 points and you only seen him miss 2 shots. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's all their system.
And that ability to create his own shot sometimes at the end of the buzzer, when he gets the ball and there's nothing left to do, he can do that as well. Plus what you just mentioned about being a part of the system. I wanted to ask you, do you think there's anything Real can do to stop, slow down, I don't know, contain or anything Sasha Vezenkov in this series? Do they have the tools for it, or they just got to live with it?
I mean, watching the game, the shots that he's making, these are tough shots. He probably had like 2 or 3 like just open, clean looks, you know what I'm saying? But everybody's focusing on him. And that's the thing that, to me, makes him a killer, is the fact that, like, you know, he doesn't need the ball to kill. And the only thing you have to do is just keep the ball out of his hands and don't let him, like you said, shoot the quick 3. But then he's going to go down there and rebound. And then when he does get the quick touch, like we seen the shot he hit in the corner, he shot it in like 0.2 seconds. Like, that is impossible to even try and defend. So sometimes you just got to tip your hat to certain guys and live with it. So I don't know if they can slow him down. It's just going to be a bad night for him.
Yeah. I mean, another front court matchup I wanted to touch on was Tavares versus the front line of Olympiacos. I feel like without Tavares, Real looked even worse, especially defensively. Their paint became more accessible for both the guards and especially the bigs of Olympiacos. Would you say before the series that Tavares is an advantage over, let's say, Milutinov? Or do you think that all the advantages in this series, including the front line, is still in Olympiacos' hands?
Yeah, for sure. I think Milutinov, I'm taking Milutinov before I take Walter Tavares for this series, for sure. With just how Olympiacos plays and what Milutinov does for them, I think it's more beneficial for Olympiacos in this series than it is for Real Madrid having Tavares, for sure.
Yeah. And also, I wanted to say one thing about something similar to what we were discussing yesterday about Kendrick Nunn and his game. He didn't have a great game last night shooting the ball. Tonight, Evan Fournier only made 1 3-pointer out of 8. And even that wasn't enough. You know, slowing down that guy wasn't enough. In general, Olympiacos only made 7 3-pointers out of 27, shooting at 26% from 3. Real Madrid still allowed 84 points regardless of that. Do you see, how many games do you think Real can take? And is that a possibility to do it in the next game, or is it all about those home games where they have quite a good home record? Like I said, second best in the league, tied for 13 wins and 4 losses. What do you think?
I could see Real Madrid possibly winning 1 game. You know what I'm saying? That's just to kind of give like what they got going respect, and the players that they have the respect, because they definitely have great players, but just you're facing Olympiacos, who has great players and they're a great team at the same time. That's tough to beat. Like, that's like Olympiacos is looking like a favorite to win it all for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like them and Pana, like they have great talent and great team work together. Like that's just tough to beat. It's a tough matchup. So I don't really think Real Madrid can do much.
Yeah, well, I've seen Real win those games at the end of the regular season to get up to that 7th spot, and also just at home. Sometimes they're in the flow. Sometimes they're moving the ball great, scoring, making those shots. But at the same time, Olympiacos is doing well on away games, and it's not like they fall apart when they're not in front of their home crowd. Sometimes that's the case with the other Greek team who are playing great at home, but then when it comes to away games, they kind of, especially defensively, let the other teams get really hot. I feel like for Olympiacos, they got all the weapons in their tool set to finish the series. Now after this game, I'm changing my prediction, even though this will not count officially, but I'd say 3-1 as well. I can't see them going to Game 5 anymore. Anything else you saw from this game you wanted to highlight?
Nah, I'm just gonna stay with the fact that like what Olympiacos shows as a team, like the physicality that they play with, the teamwork, the chemistry, that system that they've been running the past, 3 or 4 years, like it's all basically coming to fruition right now in the playoffs. And they looked really good.
All right, so let's then move on to the other game that we saw. Also quite a blowout, really. Even more so, I would say, from Monaco against Barcelona. Again, us guys here at the table, we were predicting a five-game series. But what we saw was a dominant game, first of all, from Mike James, who, as you noted, had a back surgery, still made the second EuroLeague, all EuroLeague team this season. But what matters to me most is that he actually, even though he didn't have a great year, when it matters, 22 points, 5 of 9 from 3. That one 3-pointer, if you remember, 3-and-1 play where he got that the lucky bounce to get that in from quite a far distance, drew the foul. That's, I think, like when you're back in your confidence level, you making those shots.
Yeah, for sure. And Mike a vet at this point, you know what I'm saying? So like he knows when he needs to turn it on and what he needs to do to get going. We kind of saw that with Shane a little bit in their game. Like Shane did the same thing against Pana, but I think most part like Monaco versus Barcelona, I still might think it go 5. Like I'm not opposed to Barcelona being better at home. Some of their guys actually didn't play that well. KP got into some foul trouble. Mike played amazing. Daniel Tice played amazing for Monaco. Like, they had a really good game just from, like, their guys. You know what I'm saying? Jordan Lloyd didn't play too well, but, like, other than that, like, they had a solid game from everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think Barca did as well.
To your point, 22 points from Tice, that's his career high. 5 rebounds, he's always there to protect the rim as well. I thought, you know, what we said about this game before it started, that he really changed this team from a solid team to an actual contender, I think. This season, if they make it to Final Four, when it's all one game, you know, you never know what's going to happen.
Anything can happen.
Yeah. In terms of Barcelona, like you said, punter, maybe shooting-wise not the greatest game, but without him, their offense looks like there's nobody to take the ball and just create offense. And with that, do you think they can have a chance without Kevin Punter just totally carrying that team?
Not against this Monaco team, no. But I do think they do have the talent. Like we was talking about this during the game. Like they have the talent to do that. Like they have the talent to take this to 5 games for sure. Because I think on paper they're the more talented team. But I think how Monaco's team is structured, again, they have multiple dudes who can create not only for themselves, create a shot for others. Whereas we talked about Barcelona, like Kevin Punter has to do all the work and still score himself, and that's a lot to do, especially when teams are focusing on you. But again, they have talent. Jabari Parker is talented. They got so many guys down there. Even like Willie's talented. I was talking about Bruzilla. Like he's talented, can put the ball in the hole. Sanaransky, like they have guys that can play. So I think they can take it to Game 5. But if it goes just to 4 or something, I wouldn't be surprised. I definitely got Monaco, but yeah, this game just kind of showed that Monaco's headed into the right direction.
Yeah. And I feel like what you said about the system and Monaco in general, they're best when they're not only creating shots, but making those shots. And tonight they managed to do so, because usually they struggle with shooting from outside. Mike can create every single shot that's open, but if you don't make those shots from spot-up situations, you're just wasting possessions, I guess. And today they hit 12 of 28 from deep, 42%, 36 before the playoffs from 3. So I think this is going to be an integral part for them to get the series, to keep making those open shots. But in general, I feel like this game was a lot of ISO versus ISO situations, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. We talked about that a lot. Just the type of matchups that you have, like with Kevin Punter being one, he's an ISO scorer. Like he'll score out of pick and roll and stuff, but even as we've seen today, he wants to dance with you, get you kind of off balance and then pull up. Same with Mike. He'll pass more so out of pick and rolls than he does anything, but he really just wants to get the matchup, and if you don't help, and that dude's on the island. So we've seen that a lot today. Same with Akobo. But again, that's basically what's going to make the series. I think, like you brought up, Kevin Punter is going to have to be more of a scorer and assist guy. But again, does Barcelona even have that system for him to do that? You know what I'm saying? I think they were kind of finding their groove throughout the year, but now when it comes time to playoffs and all the teams are locking in and kind of know that's what you need to do to win, what's the adjustments you need to make?
Yep. So what's your final prediction then? You said you might see this series going to 5 games. What's your final prediction for the series? How is it going to end?
Dang, I'll go 3-2.
3-2 to Monaco, I assume, right?
Yeah.
for your buddy, you're rooting for your man Mike James there. Yeah?
For sure. I mean, if I was like 100% room, I'll say like on some like 4-1, like they'll get them up out of there quick. But I do think Barcelona has a good team. You know what I'm saying? I just think Monaco's playing a little bit better at the moment.
Like you said, like they're constructed better. And we said the same thing about both matchups, that those teams that we look at as favorites, both Monaco and Olympiacos, they're set to be a better team with their roles that they know they're going to have. In Barcelona, like you said, you brought in Kevin Punter, sort of a disruptor to the type of play that they're used to, right? Which is sometimes good, because sometimes you need that guy to get the ball and create from nowhere where there's nothing going on. But when you look at long term, I guess, Monaco is just a better constructed team, especially like we said with Daniel Theiss there now, attacking many times the pick and pop situations, especially against those taller bigs like Fall. Even Vesely, although he's quite mobile on his feet, I feel like now he's more valuable on offense than on defense. And I feel like advantages in the front court, advantages in terms of who can score are all in Monaco's favor.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It even shows during the game, like certain guys, like you can kind of tell just even in Monaco's position, they're way more comfortable being in that position or being like more of a glue guy, role guy, because that is their spot. Like Barcelona has a lot of star potential on their roster, and sometimes that's hard to mix and play with. Barcelona can definitely figure that out, but it's just tough to do. It's very hard to do.
And to illustrate your point, like a guy like Jerome Blossom game ended with 3 points. And if you look at his like PIR plus 2, just 2, he played 21 minutes. And you wouldn't point to him as being one of those people who brought the success to Monaco this game, but his plus minus is the I think, 4th in the team with plus 13. So when he was on the court, Monaco was going ahead, and there aren't many players in the double digits of plus minus. I think just illustrates your point that it's about fulfilling your role defensively, being where you need to be on the offense, and that's really to conclude what you were saying.
Will Thomas, when he was at Monaco, and they would always say about Will, like, he's always in the right spot. And that's something that, those are things that don't show up on the stat sheet. Same with like Jerome Blossom game. Like, he does a lot of little things that don't show up on the stat sheet, but that's why he's out there on the floor. And that's, again, to summarize it, like what we were talking about, with just like, you need to construct a team of what, like, if you're going to have Mike at your point guard, you probably don't need a whole bunch of people who just need the ball, because he can get them the ball in spots that they're comfortable. If you don't have those type of dudes and you need maybe more than one creator, then you get a bunch of creators, you know what I'm saying? And I think Monaco did a good job, especially with bringing in Gytis. Like, they needed a guy like that, and he showed his value tonight. It's going to be interesting to see going forward, but I like Monaco. I like Monaco for sure.
That's where we're going to end it.